Yeah, so it's a blur to me because I'm out there managing a lot of different things. But I told the players afterwards, I said, we've improved so much. I mean, it's been dramatic, but we have a long way to go. You know, we're not shooting for okay. If we're shooting for okay, you know, we're pretty close to being okay. But in terms of them competing and their energy and their camaraderie, and they can have fun with each other and not take it personally, it's, you know, we've made a lot of strides in terms of just, you know, building a foundation and a culture and a family here. So we have some work to do. There's no question about that. Liked how they competed, and you can see we can kick field goals. We got to score touchdowns, but we can kick field goals, that's for sure. So, questions?
How much of today was maybe some miscues from the offense, or was it the defense playing well on the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, I mean, you saw the offense made some plays, and then the defense did a great job bowing up. I mean, I think our defensive line's really good. They're really physical. They can play like, you know, 6 or 7 or 8. I mean, so that is definitely the strength of this team. And again, there's times, you know, I thought Duck ran really hard, but you know, we need to get that 6 inches, that 1 foot, that yard and a half. We can get those. And I know Tyler well enough. That's going to be a point of emphasis. I mean, we have to run the football. I mean, that's who we will be. And then from there, we will, you know, get the ball out on the perimeter and do things. And if you look at what he did at Montana State and the progression of the quarterback from when he was a freshman to a senior, a lot of that's because they ran the football. And the ability to run the football is not going to open up the whole passing game. So, but Evan had a really good spring. I mean, his leadership and his command of the huddle and taking charge with the clock going down, I mean, all those things are really exceptional. So we're a little thin at that spot. We will bring, you know, we're going to recruit, you know, a quarterback out of the portal. There's a couple spots that we will have, you know, just numbers wise, we have to. You know, same thing with the O-line. Same thing at the safety position. So there's just a couple of positions, you just look, we need to bring some more manpower in. But, you know, there's a good nucleus here. And again, I think they like each other, they work hard, and they compete. It's just, you know, we have, you know, some steps to go before we can go play a football game.
2 goal line stands, like you talk defensive line, that's more than that, right?
Yeah.
2 4-down stops instead of 5.
And I wanted to do that, you know, Evan was in that one, and I put the ball on the 5-yard line just because I wanted to get some of that competition, some of those things that we really haven't worked a lot on. I would say, like, of all the packages we really worked a lot on this spring was probably like a goal line package, just because we did so little hitting, you know, so little full contact work. So yeah, there's definitely some deficiencies offensively when we got inside the 5. But I did, you know, Evan did score in that one. You know, no one would have touched him. So, but I did bring the ball back to the 5 just to see him compete. And I explained that to the offensive line. I'm like, I'm giving you your chance to knock them back, and they were excited about it. They didn't get it done. So.
Did you decide a while back now in the spring, or at least a couple of weeks, that, you know, right, not a lot of people are playing traditional style, play the whole game?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I never, I mean, to me, it's about managing, you know, first of all, I want to see things I want to see. Second of all, I want to get these guys out healthy. You know, and the last thing I want to do is have an injury, you know, in mid-April, you know, so. Yeah, I've never played a traditional spring game, or really, lately I've not. It's more about, okay, what have I seen so far? What things do I want to get? I want to put some situations out there that, you know, like a goal line, those kind of things. But yeah, no, playing a traditional spring game is nothing I really cared about. It's more about, you know, what can I get for the team, special teams, offense and defense.
What do you think of after today? Looking at the roster now, I know you said you made a lot of progress from when you first got here, looking at last year's film to now. What do you think you have now as opposed to when you first got here?
It's dramatic how much the offensive line has improved. It's dramatic. But we still have a long way to go, but it's dramatic. You know, so I think Al Johnson has just done a great job. So that's the one position that's really noticeable. You know, I knew we were going to be really good on the defensive line. And there's a lot of depth there too. You know, getting Eric back halfway through was good to see him get some reps. We have to get Tyree back next because he'll help us at the linebacker position. So, Yeah, I mean, you can go position by position. I mean, you know, Ryder Cush, I mean, Jesus, the tight end that shows up in January, he should be going to his prom right now, you know, so, and he played really well, and he's getting better and better. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of improvements in a lot of positions, but I just know how good this conference is. I mean, we're not where we need to be. So that's what the next, week or so is gonna be, is a lot of evals. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, every player will be evaled, and then also they'll get a chance to meet with me and Clayton, because that's the way the world works now, in terms of like revenue share and those kind of things. And I told him very bluntly, now that you've been with me, if you get to go in the portal, we're not bringing you back. I had a whole different attitude in December. You guys came up with 3-9 season. They didn't know me. They never played it down for me. They weren't in this facility with me for any period of time. Now they've been with me. They know how I operate. If they feel they can find something better, they should go. Because we won't do that. There's gonna be no negotiation here. Either you're all in or you're not, or you're all out. So I'm just brutally honest with them, and I think they appreciate that, but there's no testing the water, so that's not how this is gonna work.
Coach, I wanted to ask about Jay, and how big is it for him to be in this offense? Obviously, you had him last year, and you anticipate him to be a big part of the offense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think getting Worthy back will be really good for us, because he's that dynamic guy that can be kind of a 1-2 punch. But yeah, I mean, Jay's that guy that he gets so many hidden yards. So at the end of the game, you look and say, "Oh, I didn't realize he got all those extra yards on, after contact." And also, he has really good vision. The thing that we're explaining to Jay to do, if you want to play at the next level, we need to keep on working on your speed. I did not have him last year until like June. We've had him now, most of we had him all spring, and he's in a lot better shape now than he was when I got him in June last year. So it's going to be a lot of speed work with him, maybe cutting a couple pounds, but keep on progressing him. But here's a kid who was MVP of the MAC. Went to Memphis. He was their leading rusher. Came to our place, played really well. So he can catch the ball in the backfield. He can block. I mean, he's really versatile. But the thing that we're trying to get from him is, we need to finish off some of those runs. Instead of getting caught on the 20, let's get in the end zone. That's the defense's whole mentality, is like, make a play, another play. As long as you make a play, another play, then we have a chance. We don't want to play that other play. So that's something I know Coach Schad and I have talked to him a lot about, is really working on that speed improvement. And he has it at times, but we need that consistently. We need to see a guy who can be a home run hitter. So.
You talked about the offensive line getting better. When we talked to Kevin Terry, he said he was at like 245 at the end of last season.
Yep.
What is he back up to now? Do you feel like he's getting back?
Probably like 265, 270. He's not where he wants to be, but we also said, listen, we don't want to put this on dramatically and you not keep your quickness. I mean, the way Kevin can bend and how quick he is, we don't want to take that away. I mean, he actually was fairly effective last year, even as light as he was. Imagine how effective he'll be now at 275, 280. And I think, working with Kevin Schad, they're going to find a weight that's going to be right for him. But we have no interest in getting him to 290, 295 right now. It's more progressively, let's find the right weight for you. But yeah, he's a guy that has put some weight on, and like I said, my strength coach is phenomenal. So that will be the job this summer, is progressively put some pounds on, but we don't need him at 290. I mean, he's really talented.
Well, guys, when you talk about the development of the offensive line, what has you encouraged there? What specific?
Yeah, the guy sitting right behind you. I mean, Chris is right there. I mean, I don't, again, I think he'll tell you too, is that the whole offensive line's gotten better. I mean, just as a unit, they've gotten better. So, yeah, I mean, walking into it and watching the videotape of last year, you said, okay, major concern. And think about it, we have 2 guys who started a lot of games for us in the last 2 years that didn't play at all in the spring, So, you get Luke back, and you get Grayson back. So with Luke and Grayson coming back, all of a sudden you say, there's some depth there, some competition there. Will we try to bring another 1 or 2 in? Yeah, I mean, our numbers are actually low in terms of scholarship numbers on the O-line, so we will do that. But, yeah, I'm really pleased. That's a position where we've gotten, and I think part of it is how good the defensive line is. The old, iron sharpens iron. I mean, they're going day to day with those guys. I mean, and there's some wars there. And there's some confidence from that defensive line. So they get a little cocky, And, you know, so as a offensive lineman, you either give up or you say, I'm gonna get better, and they got better. So I think how good the defensive line has really helped the progress of the offensive line.
Did Ben Oswika get hurt recently? And
No, so he had an operation that we knew that he needed to get at some point in the spring. So we decided, let's get it done a little earlier rather than later. He's had a really good camp. It's a minor thing, it had to do with some core muscles, something they knew last year he probably needed, and we're trying to figure out the right time to do it. But, yeah, he'll be back, you know, full speed in, 4 weeks or so.
How about the rest of those corners? It's hard watching. There's a lot of guys with PBUs, but
Yeah, there's some talent there, it's just a lot of inexperience there. And so it's gonna be a big summer for Henry Baker. He loves his room in terms of just the raw talent, but boy, they need to play more football. So it's gonna be a big summer for the corners, the corner room. That's a position we might take another guy at. Not because we don't have the numbers, just because, you know, we think that we need to bring someone in to compete for a starting job there. But I do like the talent there. There is some talent in that corner room.
So the House settled, the hearing was last Monday. Do you know, come August 1st, are you gonna get 85 or?
Yeah,
how
no,
is
that
this
was, so
gonna
that was
work?
one of the things that they're still trying to work out. They said the two sides apart and said, okay, come back in a week, and there's some things we need to figure out. Like the 105 is really the number they're worried about. The 85 doesn't even exist anymore. It's really the 105. And I think what they're realizing is there's a lot of players who are gonna get cut, and not just from football, a lot of other sports, that this settlement's gonna affect. So those kids are already, at your university, should we maybe grandfather those people in? So that's the kind of conversation, but boy, way over my head. I just get the cheat sheet on that one, I gotta get the crib notes on that, so.
You gotta have an idea, right? In a few days, you're gonna have the portal, you're
Yeah,
gonna have to have a
that's
number.
what's frustrating, because everyone said April 7th it will definitely be done. The difference here is our conference has put in a minimum floor. That's the difference. So we know our conference and this institution said, okay, we're gonna have that minimum number. So that's what we're working off of. It's not ideal that we don't have all the details, because there is some guessing going on. We'll reach out to compliance and we'll say, okay, is this a rule? We don't know yet. Is this gonna happen? We wish we knew too. But in terms of like the AAC, I think it was brilliant by our commissioner to put a floor in. With all the cuts taking place in education right now, it's forced all the teams in this conference to say, this is the minimum amount that we're gonna invest. And so it gives us some stability in terms of knowing that what we're gonna be doing in the future.